Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Red from Red's Rhetoric. You should know that because you're on my YouTube channel, which is named Red's Rhetoric. It's a blessing to be able to read, and with me I have Will Duffy, the man of the hour, the guy who came up with the concept of the final experiment. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Glad to be back.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and so people, I do need your help. Please let me know if the audio is fine. I've been adjusting a few things, and so I think I have everything situated as it should be, but you all will let me know. But yes, I do want to say hello to everyone watching out there in the live chat. So, Will Duffy, before we get into the actual topic and discuss things that I would like to discuss, I would like for you to give a brief synopsis of what you're doing and some updates if you have any.
For sure, for sure. So, the goal behind the final experiment is to try to settle the debate over whether or not we live on a globe or a flat Earth. I know that's a tall order, but I do like to do difficult things. I like to try to do things that people say are impossible. And so, what I've arranged is a trip to Antarctica in the southern summer this December, so in less than 3 months, where both flat earthers and globers will go there together and see if there's a 24-hour sun or not. On the globe model, there'd be a 24-hour sun during the summer, meaning a sun that would never set, that would just circle 360 degrees overhead. And on the flat Earth model, the sun would have to rise and set each day in Antarctica. So, pretty easy test. An update is two flat earthers. I would consider them pretty prominent flat earthers. Jaron Campanella of Jaronism and Austin Whitsitt of Whitsitt Gets It have confirmed and committed to going. I am paying for them to go. And then a glober by the name of Dave McKeegan has committed to going, and I'm paying for him as well. And yeah, that's kind of the big update so far.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so first of all, congratulations on making it this far. I imagine it was a bit of a challenge to get Jeranism and Witsit to agree to this thing. Can you speak on that, or do you want to keep that kind of close to the chest?
No, I don't mind speaking on it.
Go
I
ahead.
kept it pretty public. So Jaron agreed to go right off the bat, which was months ago, but he did not want to go alone. He wanted there to be another flat earther. And so that led to a bit of a delay. And his preferred flat earther would have been Austin Whitsitt. And so getting Austin to commit was the difficult one. And that took months of just kind of going back and forth. There would be long delays of no communication. Then there would be, you know, I don't want to make it sound worse than it was, but demands being made of me that they wanted things put in writing, and so all of that just stretched out until we got to the 11th hour, but finally got everything agreed upon for both sides. And so yes, it was difficult, but we're there, and that's all I really care about at this point.
All right, understood, understood. Now, the reason why I called you to this meeting is because I had a conversation with one of my subscribers, and they had some concerns about the contract.
Mm.
And so that's one of the things I wanted to touch on. You mentioned that there was demands being made from Witsit to you, as if you're the one that needs their feet held to the fire, considering you're the one paying for this. I find that incredible. Not in a good way. Let me be very, very clear about that. Not in a good way, incredible, but incredible nonetheless. And apparently, one of the conditions for Witsit going was that he would have complete authority over the footage collected on this trip. So, question number one, is that true?
Not exactly. So Austin and Jaron were concerned about another behind the curve happening. So for those of those of your audience who don't remember that or aren't aware, there was a Netflix documentary called Behind the Curve, and Jaren's in it, and Jaren claims that they took things he said out of context and had very careful editing to make him look like he was saying things he really wasn't saying at that time. And so they were concerned that this was like a Behind the Curve 2.0. So number one, there is no documentary being made. There's not going to be any cameramen in Antarctica. So that's number one. But number two is they wanted something in writing that would protect them, so their face and their words, from being used in a way that would take them out of context. So if we're going to ever publish anything with their face on it or their words on it, they have the right to approve that ahead of time or say that we can't use it ahead of time.
All right, understood. But let me give you a hypothetical. The hypothetical is that they don't like what they see in Antarctica. They don't like it. They don't want it to be shown. You know, having a total Bob Nodell situation. Oh, if we released what we have, it would be bad. It would be bad. Remember that quote, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters? So, in the event that does happen, and they say, well, listen, man, this would be really detrimental to our grift. We do not want this footage out there. We want to hide it. What would happen? What would happen in that situation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in my opinion, the most important footage that we are going to be taking out there will be of the sun. And that footage is going to be protected, meaning we're going to be able to use that regardless of what they want to say or not. What they're concerned with is, like, if I put a camera in their face and say, do you see the sun? Or do you see a 24-hour sun? And then I get to use that. So my take on this is this. I have a much closer relationship to Jaren than Austin. And I believe Jaren is going to be fine with whatever happens. And he's going to be honest about it. And I don't think he's going to try to stop any type of video. Austin, I don't really know. We barely communicate, and so he may want to do that. But the reality is there's going to be a lot of people there. So this is important. There will be other people there that I'm not paying for, which means there's no contract. People that have paid for themselves, people that have crowdfunded, and it's still open if anybody else wants to join us. And so there's going to be a lot of live streaming going on down there. And so the reality of the sun, which is why we're going there, whether or not there's a 24-hour sun, will get out. And if Jaren and Austin are the only two on the trip that state, we don't want to admit it, and we're not going to let you use any videos of us talking about the sun, I think it's going to look obvious to everybody as to what happened down there.
Oh, absolutely. It would look obvious. But I just want to make sure that no matter what, we are going to get video from this trip, because let's face facts here. You are spending a colossal amount of money on this. And a couple of my subscribers, like the one I invited to my show the last time I spoke to you, fine gentlemen and ladies in the live chat, they were concerned that you would essentially be under some sort of a gag order, because that's what they wanted in the contract. It seems like it only relates to their words. So if you collect footage that doesn't have their faces in it and doesn't have them talking in it, you're essentially in the clear. You would be able to post that footage whether they like it or not. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And now you mentioned that the other individuals that would be going, they are not under any sort of contract. Has that been a bit of a touchy subject with Witsit and Jaren? Because if they're not under contract, do they see these other individuals going as a bit of a threat?
So let me go down the list.
Right.
There's a guy going who has a YouTube channel called Critical Think. He is not someone that any of us have ever met in person. We don't know him too well. I've communicated with him quite a bit, just getting him signed up. And so I haven't heard them say anything about him. There's another guy who none of us have met. His name is Leonard, and he is from Australia, and he just signed up to pay on his own. So I haven't heard anything about him. But then MC Toon signed up. So Mike
I'm
signed up to
sorry, who?
go.
Who?
And the flat earthers, they, let's just face it, they hate him for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Um,
MC Toon. I don't know who you're talking about. Must be a new guy. Totally unfamiliar with that name, by the way.
yes. And
Just so that
so,
you are aware.
okay. And so anyway, yes. So Jaron and Austin were not happy about that he's going. They're okay now. But I haven't been involved in this debate space for very long. So I don't understand the history here, but apparently there's history with MC Toon and these guys. But I will say this to give credit to MC Toon, when he decided he was going to go, he told Austin and Jaron before they signed the contract, so that it wouldn't look like a gotcha. Like as soon as they sign the contract, he says, I'm going, so that they can't back out. So he gave them the opportunity to change their mind. But I think they made the right decision. They're still going to go, and they're probably going to still have some beef between now and then. But I'm hoping with all of us together, maybe we can all make up.
Well, there's definitely going to be some beef, and I just want to tell people it's going to be delicious beef, the best kind of beef. All right, think of the best barbecue out there. It's that kind of beef, very good beef. But going forward, given the fact that they have agreed to go, I assume they signed the contract and there's no backseas, because I'm assuming that trying to get your money back after you buy tickets or whatever it is that you're doing, that would be very, very difficult. So are they in a situation of no backsies right now?
They are, yes, and they're paid for. So I've already stroked the check for them. I cannot get a refund on that, and so at this point, according to the contract, if they fail to show up just because they changed their mind, then they're gonna have to pay me back for the money I spent for them.
Okay, so there is a financial incentive to not get, pardon the pun here, cold feet,
Yes, exactly right.
because it's going to be absolutely frigid down there. And as someone from Florida, good luck to you. The air is going to hurt your face, by the way, just to make that painfully obvious. The air will hurt your face.
It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it? All right, sounds good. So, out of morbid curiosity, if you would like to speak on this, or if not, it's fine. But how much money are we talking here between Witsit and Jaren? You said you wrote that check. What was the digits on that check that they would be on the hook for if they backed out?
Yeah, so that check was about 63,000.
$63,000, and they know for a fact that this is legit. That's actual money, and there's no getting around the fact that this is a real thing. They signed the contract. They are fully aware of this.
They are, yeah. We
Okay,
we,
good.
we have receipts.
We have receipts. Good. Okay. So it seems like, if I understand this correctly, there was a contract, and the contract was, I guess, mutually beneficial. Maybe that's the wrong way of phrasing it. It holds you both accountable, the flatter side and the glober side. It keeps you both accountable, and it also protects you to make sure that you're actually going to get your money's worth. And they are going to have a say in the video that gets produced, but not of particular pieces of footage. So, like, if you make a video with their face in it and their words being used and stuff like that, you would then have to get their approval before posting it. However, if you made a video that did not have their faces or their voices in it at all, you wouldn't need their approval. And the other individuals that are going, there's no contract at all with them. And apparently they are fully aware of this fact. Do I have everything so far?
You do. That's correct.
All right, cool. Now, there is one other update that I would like for you to speak on. So you got trolled, scammed, lied to by a flat earther. And first of all, let me just get my surprised Pikachu face going. I know you guys can't see me, but that's for your protection. Hang on one second. Okay, there we go. The moment has passed. I've been holding that in. So you got scammed and lied to by a flat earther. I know, shocking. So what exactly happened with that situation? Because I know there was this golden ticket competition, following the classics of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So what happened there?
Yeah, so this is actually the first time I'm making this story public, the details. So here's what happened. After I created the final experiment, I said that you could sponsor someone if you wanted to, just in case people would want to. That's essentially what I'm doing by paying for flat earthers and a globe earther to go. And so, sure enough, after a few weeks' time, someone contacted me and they said, Will, I want to sponsor someone. And I said, great. And I talked to them about the cost and the details. And then I would make a public offer to the person that they wanted to sponsor and get a yes or a no. That happened a handful of times. And those were all legitimate offers. Those were legitimate benefactors that either had a legitimate offer that was turned down or had a legitimate offer that was accepted. And then they paid money. They wired money. So I had no reason to think that anything would go wrong. But then I got this new offer of someone who said they gave their name. I researched who they were, and it was a doctor. And they said that they wanted to sponsor a flat earther, but that they wanted to hold a contest and have me pick the winner. And so I thought, great, let's do it. So I put a lot of time into it. I opened it up to flat earthers literally in the entire world, received 40 entries from 5 continents, 8 different countries. We made a really big deal about it. And then I found out this person that was behind the scam contacted Jaren and thought it was funny that they duped me. And Jaren was like, this is not funny. What are you thinking? You're going to make our side look bad. You're an idiot type of a response. And then Jaren made me aware of it. So had he not done that, this would have been much, much worse. And so we chose a winner live. She was super excited. Her name is Lisbeth Acosta. And then now we know it's a scam. And so we are currently crowdfunding for her on GoFundMe to go. And then I actually received a very large donation for her today, which I'm going to do a video about tomorrow. But it's looking like she's going to be okay and she'll still be going with us.
Well, that's good. And after all this is said and done, I will do my best to remember this. I will put a link to that GoFundMe in the description or in a pinned comment. You'll be able to see that at the top once we're done here. So let me ask you this: were they catfishing you? Were they just pretending to be this doctor guy, and they just said, "Oh, I'm just going to make a Gmail with this dude's name in it, and that should be enough"?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. So they made an email account with their name. I did have a conversation with them going back and forth. It all felt legitimate. It felt the same as the previous offers. And yeah, it just turned out, obviously I'm going to have to do a little bit more vetting and due diligence going forward. But yeah, honestly, here's the thing. Like, I've been trying since day one to make the final experiment something that puts both sides on an even playing field. We're starting from the same spot. And the flat earthers have consistently made themselves look bad, just consistently. So here's an example. When we announced that Lisbeth Acosta was the winner of the golden ticket, the flat earth side immediately started calling her an actor. They started calling her a plant. They started to say that she and I had a deal ahead of time. They started saying she's a NASA operative, like all this craziness before it even came out that it was a flat earther that was running this hoax. So anyway, they've just constantly made themselves look bad. And now this flat earther seems to think, I don't know why he doesn't realize that this is just going to make the flat earthers look bad, because here's the reality of the situation. Every single benefactor that's on the globe side that's paying for a flat earther have all been legitimate offers, and they've all paid if the offer was accepted. And so now we have one single offer from the flat earth side, and it ended up being a complete lie.
Go figure. Okay, so now they contacted Jaren. Jaren said that that was very bad and everything else like that. But I have this little birdie right here. It talks to me. Some people say I should be on medication because of it, but this birdie tells me some things, and it told me, this little birdie right here told me that this person that lied to you went on Flatzoid's live stream to brag about it. Is that true?
Yes, it is. So here's a little bit more backstory that people are probably not familiar with. Um, I actually worked on trying to figure out who this guy was that scammed me, and I became very confident that I figured out who he was. And then the next day, he went on Flatzoid and said, "Hey, I'm the guy. I'm the guy that scammed Will in the final experiment." And it was exactly who I thought it was. So yeah, he again thought he would look good, I guess, by bragging about this, and there you go.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and uh, answer some questions from the live chat. First question is, what kind of bird is it, Red? It is a cockatiel. It is a cockatiel. Because cockatiels are awesome. And if anyone disagrees with me on that, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. Cockatiels are awesome. So next, we already went over this, but I'll ask it again. At Red's Rhetoric, can you ask him about the rumors going around that the contract with Jaren and Witsit gives them final say and approval of all footage taken on the trip from all participants?
Yeah.
So I'll let you speak on that again. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit more backstory, which will help answer this question. So initially the rumor was that I was asking them to sign a contract, which is false. Okay, I never said you guys have to sign a contract. Here it is, sign it. What happened was Jaron sent me an email, and he said, "Hey, Will, here's the list of what Austin and I want in a contract before we'll agree to go." I literally just forwarded Jaron's list to my attorney and said, "Can you please create a contract?" That's how the whole thing started. After that, after my attorney did that, Austin started going online saying he didn't like it. And I'm like, great, that's how these processes work. Either give it to your attorney, or you guys can redline it. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to add. Tell me what you want to remove. We'll go back and forth until we agree on something. There was probably a version somewhere in there that would have given them, rights to any footage whatsoever, but we carefully reviewed everything, and they can't ask for that. And so, yeah, all they're allowed to block if they choose to is footage that they are in, and that they're speaking in.
Okay, that's good, because a lot of people were afraid of that, because there was that rumor that they were just bending you over and trying to make you agree to stuff that no rational person would ever agree to. Because if they were given that amount of authority over the video, over the footage from this trip, that's very dangerous. And I'm pretty sure you are aware of that.
Yeah, there was some screenshots going around on X. That's probably what people were reading. That was not the final version.
Got it. Understood. And by the way, you mispronounced Twitter. So we have Sly Sparkane. He says, Flat Earthers trying to delegitimize something that goes against their third-party belief? Say it ain't so! Thank you very much for the super chat, Sly. You are an incredibly sexy man, by the way, and you smell lovely today. You smell like strawberries. So, with that being said, let me ask you this. Once this trip is over and you all come back and you all produce a video on the situation and everything else like that, when are we going to expect a video back from you? Are you immediately going to get to work on it the very moment you step foot back in America land? Are you going to take some time to decompress? Because people are going to be thirsty for this footage. They're going to want to know every single detail about what happened. And even me, when I first heard about this, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I didn't believe a word you said. I said, there's no way this is real. No one would spend this much money on flat earthers. No one would do so. I stand corrected, good sir. I stand corrected. Someone would spend this amount of money on flat earthers. And I was wrong. So my apologies for that. But given the fact that you are going to be doing all of this and people are going to be itching for the footage, when is that going to happen? The very moment you get back, or are you going to take some time off?
So I can tell you what my family would want, which is for me to take some time off.
But
This
what
has
do you want?
this has consumed way more of my time than I anticipated. I'm honestly already tired, and so I can't imagine how tired I'm going to be afterwards. I will probably just try to give everybody what they're looking for. Now, again, this is completely up in the air. I'm not going to know this until we get to Antarctica. But if we have good internet connection, good bandwidth with Starlink, we might be able to live stream enough to where people are happy and content.
I understand.
So,
All right, that's good. That's good because live streaming would satisfy their curiosity. I would believe. Next question. Are you going to make any of the footage that you collect in Antarctica, are you going to make it Creative Commons?
I have no idea. It's a good question. It's something I offered Jaron and Austin when we were negotiating, but they didn't accept that. So I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Well, the reason why I believe people are asking is that people are going to want to make a lot of videos on this. This is going to be talked about for generations and generations. This event will outlive you. It will outlive your children. It will outlive your children's children. And people are going to want to make videos on it, and they would like to do so without this threat of a copyright strike against their YouTube channel. So I would like to make a request then. Not all the footage, but the footage that does not include Jaron and Witsit. Will you commit to making that Creative Commons?
I will commit to taking your request serious and giving it some serious thought.
Some very serious thought, right?
Yes,
The most serious?
the most serious I can.
That's what I like to hear. Guys, I tried. And if he agrees to this, you have me to thank for that. It was all me. MC Toon, I know you're watching. Write this down. It was all me. I came up with it first. And speaking of coming up with it first, by the way, the contract. Now, you mentioned that they had sent you a contract, but I remember when we were first talking about this, I had put forward the idea of a contract just to simply protect yourself. It seems like you didn't even have to be the first mover in that situation. They already essentially beat you to the punch. They're like, we want a contract. We want to make sure everything is legit, blah, blah, blah. Is that how it happened?
That is correct. Yeah. So I knew a contract would be a good idea. I knew it was something I should probably pursue, but they beat me to the punch. They asked for it first. And again, I'm just going to give a little credit to Jaron here. When Jaron sent me his list of requests, which I did not think were crazy at all, one of them was that the contract would have them have to reimburse me if they fail to show up, which is awesome. Austin removed that. So Austin removed it to where if they don't show up, they don't have to pay me back or anything. And actually, Jaron is the one that put that back in. So props to Jaron.
Okay, I can give Jaron props there as well. And ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and just highlight something. YouTube is not very good on the whole fair use thing. Even though you may have used the footage correctly and it's totally protected by fair use, YouTube sucks at understanding fair use. Ask me how I know. If if there is a day in the future where they finally understand fair use and they have an AI that actually understands fair use, I'll be the first to tell you. But as of right now, it's good to have protections. It's good to have, clips that are guaranteed to not cause any trouble. Now, keep in mind, Will doesn't have to release all the footage as a Creative Commons clips. He doesn't have to do that. But I'm asking for enough material that at least people can make videos, for people to make videos of, and without that lingering threat that they could get a DMCA because of that. Because let's face facts, this is going to be talked about. This is going to be, in my opinion, a huge thorn in the side of flat earthers everywhere. And I just want to share the love, share the thorns, depending on your perspective, honestly. But yeah, that's why I'm making this suggestion. Now, as far as the people that have refused to go on this trip, one of them I know has a lovely app that doesn't work, and we all know him as Dearth. And I know that Dearth is friends, at least, with Jaren, and Dearth was like, oh, absolutely not, I don't want to do this. If you don't know this, and if you want to speculate, that's fine, but what do you think their relationship is going to be afterwards? Because I think you and I both know they're gonna see a 24-hour sun. You guys are going to see a 24-hour sun. That sun is not setting. That's not going to happen. We know this. They may not know this, but they're going to find out. So when they do find out, what do you think is going to happen afterwards in terms of their relationship to the flat Earth community that they've built, essentially?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Here's what I'll say. I do think that turning down a free trip to Antarctica is a piece of evidence, not a smoking gun, but I think it's a piece of evidence that you might be grifting. It doesn't make sense to me if you're actually a truther and you're trying to figure out the truth and get the truth to the world and expose the truth to the world. It doesn't make sense to me that you would turn down a free trip to Antarctica, especially when you're like Flat Earth Dave, who has said for years that there is no 24-hour sun. He said a 24-hour sun would prove the globe. And so that's tough. And so Jaren, on the other hand, I think accepted the trip because he is a truther. He does want to know the truth, and I think he'll accept the truth regardless of what it is. And so if Flat Earth Dave is grifting, and he will continue to do that, and Jaren will accept the truth if there's a 24-hour sun, I think that would affect their relationship for sure.
Understood. Well, then, in that case, you have pretty much answered all of my questions. I guess now I just have a few requests that I would like to make of you. One of which is the Creative Commons thing, which we already talked about, so we won't hash that out again. But the second one that I have is I would like for you to pass on a message to Jaren and say that I will be with him in spirit, because I guess I kind of invented the guy, because before he was known as Jarenism, he spoke to me on a live stream, and this became kind of a bet. He said he was going to dedicate his entire existence to Flat Earth, and I said that I would dedicate an absurd amount of time on my end debunking him. That's literally how this all started. My history with Jaren, it's complicated, it's very diverse, but I've known Jarenism to be a liar, and a fraud, a cheat. He lies about a lot of stuff, and to see him act this honorably, it's a shock to the system. I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to believe that he's finally turning over a new leaf. Let me explain what I mean here. Not only was Jarenism a liar, but he was also very crude and rude. Now, I know that's rich coming from me, but I like to think that I aim it in the right direction. For example, he used Stephen Hawking's disability as a springboard for a bunch of cheap jokes. And you can probably see or figure out what jokes they were and what they were in reference to. Even going so far as to say that the real Stephen Hawking is dead and that that's just some poor sap that they're making say certain words that he's not actually saying. That you and I both know Jeranism would have no evidence for such a thing. It's very far-fetched, hard to believe, because it's stupid. But that's my experience with Jeranism. To see him act this honorably is a shock to the system. So, with all that being said, I would like for you to pass on this message to Jaren, and that is to keep it up. He is on the right track. So long as he doesn't lose track and screw up and get cold feet, no pun intended, because it's going to be really, really cold there, I see good things for him. I honestly do. And for the longest time, I was debating whether or not he's just ignorant or a grifter. At this point, it doesn't really matter because, he was a douchebag for the longest time. But it seems like now he seemed to have lost that douchey part of him and is actually acting honorably. So it was, like I said, shocking when he's like, oh, that you played a prank that, made Will do all this work and for nothing. That's really messed up. That was a shock to the system. So if you can pass on that message, that I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm proud of him. He'll probably throw up a little in his mouth, but if you could please pass on that message, and please do so when you're on the plane so that he can't escape.
Sounds good. I will commit to doing that for you.
There, and it has to be on the plane, and it must happen when you're above 30,000 feet.
Sounds good.
Excellent. I like that. All right, finally. So the last request that I will be making here tonight, and this goes for whoever else is going on with you. I know MC Toon, I know Jaren, and even Witsit, that sort of thing and stuff like that. But the request would be like this. Would you be able, given your Starlink connection, would you be able to have, any one of you, would you be able to have a live stream with other people asking you questions from, like, for example, other flat earthers, so that they know that this is live? Would you be able to have a Zoom call, a Google Hangout, something on StreamYard, whatever the case may be, Discord even, call collect, I don't know, just some sort of live stream where other flat earthers will be able to interact with you in real time, answer questions in real time. That way they cannot say this was recorded in a studio, this wasn't live, you paid off Jaren and Witsit an extreme amount of money, and of course Globey's live, so you wouldn't have to pay them off anyway, blah blah blah. Just like, would you be able to have some sort of a real live conversation with flat earthers when you're in Antarctica?
Yes, so that is our goal. We're absolutely going to do everything we can to do that. We will also try to do that when we're in the Chile, in the southern tip of South America, because that's where our plane's going to be taken off from, and there's not anywhere you can go from there in 4 hours that is covered in snow and ice other than Antarctica. So the answer is yes. We're absolutely going to do everything we can to make that happen. Excellent.
And AC says, saying you're proud of him sounded like those words were painfully strained coming out of the mouth of Red's rhetoric. Yes, they were. I never thought I would ever say that I'm proud of Jeranism, because I've known Jeranism to just be, I'm just going to say it, a filthy liar, just absolutely dishonest and totally shilling for the flat earth. This is a change. It really is, and it is a shock to the system. I am surprised that Jaren is acting so honorably, that it seems to me that the contract that he sent you, it wasn't extreme, like, oh, if I go on this, you have to give me a foot massage or anything like that. There wasn't anything like that in there. It seems like he was being very reasonable, and it was Witsit that was being kind of the tool of the situation, but that's
Yeah, that's
Witsit.
right.
We know Witsit, but Jaronism was a shocker just on his own, and it seems like you had nothing but a fine experience discussing the terms with them.
Yeah, that's right. And again, I've only known Jaron for less than a year, but my personal experience with him has been great.
All right, understood. And so, before we head off, where can people find you?
Yes. So best place for updates is on YouTube. Just search the final experiment. Will come right up. We do have a cool website which has a countdown timer, has a list of everyone who's going, and has a list of all the people who have declined a free trip. That's thefinalexperiment.com with dashes, the dash final dash experiment.com.
Excellent, excellent. So, with that, I'm. Oh wait, we have one more question. You know what? We will ask one more question. With this live stream idea, how will there be any evidence that Jaron and Witsit are actually there? I'm pretty sure they would be participating in the live stream.
Yeah, I'm hoping they actually live stream themselves. But yeah, we'll see how they handle that.
I think the best thing that we can do, ladies and gentlemen, is just to motivate them. And y'all are very creative on how you motivate flat earthers. I know I'm very creative on how I motivate flat earthers, but yeah, I think the correct answer is just to motivate them. But yeah, huge props to Jaron here for tackling this honestly. And don't get me wrong, guys. This he has to follow through with this. He has to go on this trip and be honest about what he saw. He has to be honest about that. Because if he isn't, that's going to look really, really bad. It's, I mean, it's over $60,000, guys. It's over $60,000, and I would hope that Jaron knows not to mess with that. And it seems like, well, now he can't because it's in the contract. Like, look, I signed the check, I signed it off, I sent it off. You're in. There's no backseas. And it's like, yes, will Jaron and Witsit return the expensive kit Will buys for them? And has Witsit and Jaron actually said thank you for this amazing opportunity? Well, we already went over how we'll get reimbursed if they back out of it. But as of right now, they're not going to pay a penny for this. They're totally paid for. But that is a good second question, Crypto. So here's that question one more time. Has Jaron and Witsit actually thanked you for this amazing opportunity, or are they just treating it like business as usual?
Jaron has thanked me profusely, and Austin has not.
Interesting. I mean, if you want to speak on this, you can. How has Witsit taken it? Is he like, yeah, whatever, or is he like, this better be good, or something like that? Like, what would you say his demeanor has been like?
He's been very difficult to communicate with, and so I don't even know if I have enough communication from him to tell you what his demeanor is. Like, I'll send texts and they won't get responded to. I'll send emails, they won't get responded to. I'll ask Jaron to bug him, that won't get responded to. So I'll send him a reminder text, and then he'll finally respond with something short. So,
in your opinion, is he uncomfortable about the situation that he has found himself in?
I think so, because there were so many times he publicly said that he was going to Antarctica, that he wanted to go there, that he would go with me. And then all of a sudden it was like, let's get you signed up. And it was just like, it felt like a hesitancy. It felt like some feet dragging. So I think there probably is a little bit of discomfort there, but he is going, and I give him credit for that.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for that too. But it does say a lot that he would be uncomfortable about getting a free trip that's literally costing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. And to think, the only thing he had to do to get this trip was to be wrong perpetually on the internet for years. He's literally getting. Oh my god, both of them are literally getting rewarded with a what is essentially a bucket list item. They're getting rewarded by this for being wrong on the internet. Do you know how much work we've all had to put in on this, debunking their crap, and they get the bucket list item? That's kind of messed up, but I understand it. And wow, that's something. That is something. Okay, for £10, taking bets that Witsit gets arrested. Let's hope not. Let's be clear here. I want Witsit to go. I want Jeranism to go. I want everyone to go and get back safely, preferably without the handcuffs. I would prefer that be the case. I would prefer they get there, get footage, awesome footage, make it Creative Commons, of course, not have frostbite, and be able to tell us all about the wonderful time they had experiencing the sun at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what I think we all want, and so if you want to take bets, but I'm going to hope that this is a complete success, because like I said, what's its demeanor? Who cares? Who honestly cares? Let's make this a successful outcome for everyone there. And if Witsit wants to be a party pooper and let him, other people are there to enjoy it. And it seems like Jaren might be willing to break away from the pack a bit. I mean,
yeah, I think he'll be honest about whatever we see down there. So I'm excited about that.
And I'm excited for all of you guys. So let's go ahead and do this. We are going to tune out, guys. I would like to thank all of you for being here and watching. Thank you very much for the super chats. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Will, for being here on short notice, because I literally just messaged you and you're like, yeah, let's do this. And by the way, guys, let Will be an example to you guys, especially the Flat Earthers. This is how easy it is to get in contact with me. This is how easy it is to set up a show on my YouTube channel. You see? He said, hey, I'm free on this day at this time. And look what happened. We're here having a conversation. It's amazing how this works. This shouldn't be difficult. Anyway, Will, I've wasted enough of your time. Thank you very much for being here. And yeah, if you guys would like to check out all of the final experiment links and doobly-doos and all that stuff, I will leave that in the description or in a pinned comment. It all depends on how YouTube treats me. Will, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.